name is Bill and I work with Kirst Konverter, and today we're going to take a look at cutting a port in an 1851 Navy black powder revolver. And we're also going to use common tools that most of us will have in our garage or basement somewhere. For those of you that feel like this is a little more than what you want to try, then you can check our website out. We offer installation services, a couple of different levels of that, and we'd be happy to take care of it for you if that's what you choose. So we're going to assume that if you're ready to cut a port, that you've already fitted the cylinder and the breech ring, and you've tested, the action, the function of the revolver to make sure that it works. Once all that's taken care of, then it is time to cut the port. And of course you can cut the port in however you want, whatever configuration or size. But what I like to do is slide the cylinder and the breech ring on with the gate shut. This is the only time I'll ask you to shut the gate before a port has been put in. Get kind of a center line on the loading gate and mark this side of your standing breech, and that's going to be your center mark. Now you can slowly cut that center mark in with a 3-cornered file. You can use a cut-off tool on a Dremel, and then after that you can start opening and widening that up, still with a 3-corner or a half-round file or a full-round file, until you get up to using the drums that come in your Dremel kits. So before we do any of this, I'm going to highly recommend that we stick this in a vise. It's a lot easier. It's your third hand. It's a lot more stable. And if we're going to use the cutoff wheel, and some people probably would even consider using a hacksaw to get started, we need to be careful. We don't want to cut ourselves. So let's get this in a vise and start cutting on a support. Okay, in order to put the Colt style frame into a vise, it's a little tricky. You've got, of course, your arbor here straight, but that's about all that's straight on this design. So if you're real careful, you don't need anything to use as a protector, but it's better to get a piece of aluminum, a piece of copper, a piece of brass, a piece of hardwood would do. And it doesn't matter how thick it is, it's just to protect, because I'm going to tighten this jaw up, and you can see it kind of can't. And that's pretty snug. Now, at this point, you can go ahead to your file, and that cuts a lot better now that nothing's moving. If you want to take your time and do that, then that's fine. But if you want to speed things up just a little bit, then we're going to go to the Dremel. Now this is one of the reasons I wanted you to put it in the vise, because I don't want you to cut yourself. But we're going to roll this over. And there's other ways to hold this, but this is just one quick way. Go back to our cutoff wheel on our Dremel, and we're going to open this V up in order to accept our little sanding drum here. At least that's what we're going to try to do. So let's see if we can. There's one side starting to open up. I should have a mask on, and so should you if you do this. So I'm going to turn this back over this way. her locked in. And come in from the other side. Try to open this V up. Okay, I should have cut the first one a little deeper. Let's see if we can get it out of there with this hacksaw. If I'm not careful, there we go, I'm going to wish I'd tape this up. And that is a good idea, to tape it up to keep from scratching anything. Okay, now that we've got the V cut out, you can go to either a round file or a half round file, or you can go to the Dremel sanding drum. And that's what we're going to go to, the sanding drum. Now I should add, be careful, because anytime you engage something that is nailed down, stationary, with something that is rotating, it can grab and take off. I've done that more times than I care to admit. You can see that we're starting to get a port cut in here now. Now your frame is going to heat up while you're doing this. You feel it periodically. When it gets too hot to touch, I mean, you can carry it a little further, you can continue, and you will wear out a couple of sanding drums and have to change them out. But you can see we're already getting to the bottom of the V, even though we do have quite a long ways to go. She's warming up. Since you don't want to sit here and watch me cut on this for the next little bit, we're going to speed things up and get to the finished part of it. Be right back. Okay, we're back and we've closed in on our depth. The depth I like for the 38 special, somewhere around 100 or so thousandths web here before you break into the hand channel. If you're doing 45 Colt, the rim being a larger diameter, you'll need to bring that down to about 60, 70 thousandths. And the reason being is that we want this rim to clear as we're going in the chamber. So what we're going to do now is clean up these little burrs that we've got sticking up here. Don't want to get cut. So for that, I'm going to first switch to one of the sanding discs. Now what I've done is I've made my own, and the way that I make them is, since it's, the arbor's 1/8 of an inch for our Dremels, I'll roll masking tape around until I get the diameter I want. I will cut the sandpaper to whatever dimensions I want, and I'll roll that on there. Roll it up, and I'll cut a small strip, as you see here, to tie that all in. So now I end up with this, and you can have multiple grits, get into deeper holes and tight places, more shallow. So now I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to turn this around towards me because I'm going to hit this side first. Remember me telling you that it can take off and scoot across and put all kinds of dings and cuts in your workpiece. This is cleaning things up. Okay, now that we've done that, there's one thing we need to check. When you slip the cylinder breech ring back on, quite often the loading gate on this style gate will hit right here. And it just barely misses it. I got that a little higher than usual. But just for the sake of it, to make sure we don't have any problems, I want to radius this. I'm used to doing this at my bench instead of standing over a vise. Okay, now we've radiused that, get rid of that sharp point. This should be fine. A little bit of movement, that's good. So you can either leave this the finish you've got it, or you can take your little homemade arbors or your sanding drums all the way down to 400 grit, really polish that out real nice. Make sure the edges are nice and rolled and smooth, so it'll feel comfortable when you're pushing cartridges in and out. And you're ready to blue it. There we go. We have just cut a port in one of these cap and ball black powder revolvers.